Hey y'all, I'm Jamie and welcome to Dig It Homesteading. Today we are going to be in the kitchen putting some yummy things together because I have found we've been having a lot of unplanned things to go to. So we have been finding ourselves just running into a store beforehand so we can bring some treats or something yummy for everyone to share. And I don't like having to do that. So today we are going to make a whole bunch of different wonderful homemade treats, appetizers, whatever you want to call them. There's just going to be different sweet and savory things that I can have in my freezer and be on hand. That way if I know the day before but I'm busy the next day and I don't have time to bake or put things together, then I can just pop these in the oven and they will be ready for me to go to these game nights or hey, let's get together type things that we have been finding ourselves at lately. And we don't have to stop at the store on our way out. It'll be cheaper, it'll be more delicious, and I'll know what's in them. And I will have a helper, but I don't think she's going to want to be on camera, at least not yet. So, to start, I have all these ingredients right here, which is a whole bunch of Texas-sized jalapenos. So we're making jalapeno poppers to start. And y'all, I have made these many and many of times. Made some for now and froze them and put them in the freezer to have them for later where we can just pop them in the oven. They work really well in the freezer, but I have never done this amount. We got 8 pounds of peppers. And no, I did not grow them. My peppers are struggling this year, mainly because I'm being a negligent gardener, but I'm okay with that because I've been living life and doing fun things with my family. So, store-bought peppers is all I'm after right now. And I think my helper is going to come over and show you how we get them cut up and prepared, and then we need to do 8 pounds. I will not bore you with that on our video, so we'll do all that off camera, but we'll show you how we prep them, and then I'll show you how we put together everything that goes into them. Okay, she's going to show you how we do it. We just take the top off. That's scary how you're cutting that. Y'all, I lay them down to cut them. I don't know what she's doing. That's super scary. And then we just take the seeds and ribs out and have little halves of jalapenos ready to be filled with deliciousness. And I don't think I know anybody who doesn't like some sort of popper. And what we do when the kids are young, so they can enjoy them without the heat, is get a bag of those sweet lunchbox peppers, and we fill those separately for the people who don't like heat. So if you're not into heat, those work really well for this as well. And also, ones like this with the stripes, I've seen have all the heat. So when they have like stretch marks on them, those are the ones that I watch out for that might burn your mouth. So hopefully we only have a few of these because we want a little bit of heat and good flavor, but we don't want them to knock our socks off. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Okay, so my daughter and I got all the peppers chopped up and prepped, and before I clean up the kitchen, by the way, this will glitter your kitchen with pepper seeds, but it's no big deal, just wipe them up, sweep them up, whatever. I wanted to show you the little order that we did them in. So she topped them and split them on this cutting board, then chucked them over to me where I just cored them, threw them in here. We have a trash bowl, and then we also have a trash bucket. All of that will not go to waste, it's going to go to my worm bin, so they can turn that into compost for my garden. Now I'm going to get cleaned up and reset and show you what the filling is, and it's so delicious. That's why the family wanted me to do 8 pounds of peppers, because they love these. And by the way, my worm bins My worm and chicken bins are old ice cream tubs. My children quite often go to the store and pick up those big bins of ice cream. And when they're done, they're perfect for my compost and worms, or for the chickens' treats that we don't want to leave sitting around. And I like to have them labeled because I also have one for my husband's coffee grounds. And I go feed those coffee grounds to my plants. Mostly my bananas, but there are a few others that enjoy it as well. So now we are just about ready to get going with the filling. So this is definitely something I've been making for so many years. I don't use a recipe or anything, and since I've never done 8 pounds, I don't really know exactly what my ratios are going to be to tell you in advance. So we are just going to cook along together, and then you can take note as to what it looks like, what went in, how much it filled, and keep in mind this is 8 pounds of peppers. So we do have cream cheese, and I have 3 of them out. At least I thought I had 3. Yes, one of them got moved in the cleaning process. I have 3 of those out, and they have been sitting there softening. So we'll add those into our very, very large bowl. And I prefer to use a plastic bowl that's microwave safe, but my really big one that's microwave safe is holding our peppers right now. And I could have dumped them, but I also don't like that it's got edges around in the bottom. It's not just a smooth surface. So don't want any of this yummy filling getting stuck into the bottom of that bowl. So hopefully our cream cheese is softened enough. And I will go through and get the rest of that off in just a bit. I don't like leaving it on there. Waste not, want not, and such. Oh. Okay, and then this is just a little bag of cheese that we had in the fridge, so I wanted to just use it up. And that's just pre-shredded medium cheddar. Ideally, I would like to have blocks of cheese and shred them myself, so I don't have that powdery stuff on it. But since I'm making so much, we're going for a lot of convenience today. So I have 2 bags of that, plus the little bit that was extra in my fridge. And you can use any kind of cheese. We prefer some sort of cheddar in this, but if you want to make it extra spicy, then use maybe shredded pepper jack. You could also try mozzarella, whatever you want. And I use a little bit more than half of this bag to what looks right for me. So not quite 2 bags so far, and these are 1 pound bags of pre-shredded cheese. And then also extra convenience as well, real bacon pieces. I know this has some preservatives and things, but this is so easy. This is my go-to. It's shelf stable. It's not crazy outrageous expensive, and then I don't have to cook bacon and get grease everywhere and make this project take even longer. And it's already so tiny. I know they fit in the jalapenos. So we're gonna get that last little bag of that. And I think we're gonna use both bags. And these are 2.5 ounce bags of the Great Value real bacon pieces. And they used to have a little flavor saver, I don't know what they are, little moisture absorber things in them that I'd have to pull out of my bowl, but none of these have had that, so I don't know if that's new or what. And then, y'all know, I like to use pre-minced garlic. And I got this one on sale. If you haven't seen my Hurricane Preps haul video, you can go check that out. This is one of my big kitchen spoons. So I am going to use a lot. We will say 4 heaping big kitchen spoons, which is probably 8 to 10 tablespoons for 8 things of garlic. And add and adjust your ratios of what you like better for yourself. If you don't like garlic, don't put it. Sometimes I grate some onion and put it in, or a finely diced onion and put it in. Today, I'm probably just going to add a little onion powder. It changes with how much time I have, but they always end up tasting the same. There's very, very subtle changes. And now between the cheese and the bacon, they're going to be pretty salty, but I usually add just a tiny bit of salt as well. So this is what it looks like. My ratios of 3 blocks of cream cheese. And let's see if it's soft. It's pretty soft. You're just going to get in there and just mix everything up. I've also put green onions in this. Green onions is great in this, especially from straight out of the garden. And this is going to take some elbow grease because they're not perfectly softened yet, which is fine. But if you use a microwave safe bowl, then you can pop this in the microwave for like 20-30 seconds. Check it. 20-30 seconds, check it. And then you can get yours to defrost, well, not defrost, but soften up a bit quicker than mine's going to. It's not near as hot as it has been because we're getting 3 to 5 inches of rain today. My backyard's already soaked. It's a swamp out there, y'all. That's why I haven't been doing that many shorts, because I can't really get out there. So maybe we can make a short out of this deliciousness. I'm gonna let this sit out for a few minutes, and then I'll come back to it when that cheese is softened up a bit, and then I'll show you what we do next. Okay, so we had to run up and do high school jumpstart. Yo, we got a high schooler, our last high schooler. Anyway, this is what it looks like, all mixed in, and I did add in some just black pepper just to taste. And we have very clean hands. Show me your clean hands, ma'am. And we're just going to take a pepper, and you can use a spoon. Most of the time I end up just going in, nipping it, and putting it across like that. Fill it up about that much, and we're going to put them all out on our trays. Sister, how do you like doing them? With a spoon. Well, there's a spoon for you right there. So we're going to get to work and get at least 2 trays filled up, and then we're going to pop these in our freezer, and we're going to flash freeze them so they don't all stick together. And I believe somebody would like to have some of these with dinner tonight. So some of these will not get frozen but eaten. So I will make sure to include what they look like coming out of the oven, and they freeze great. And I take them from frozen, pop them in like a 375 oven until the cheese is melty goodness and the peppers are cooked through. And it's the same thing. They work same from frozen as they do from fresh every time. Show me your tray. Look how much she's got done versus how much I've got done. That's why I use my fingers. It's because I can go super quick with that and also push it into all the little holes. Sometimes the end doesn't get cut through, so you have a little pocket to cram some more of your cheesy deliciousness in. Alright, so I'm gonna go put mine in the freezer and we're gonna just keep carrying on. Okay, so we have 2 big trays completely full and part of one of our little cookie sheets, and we are out of filling. That's why I just make it, fill my peppers, and then make some more, because I never know how big my peppers are going to be and how much filling each pepper is actually going to take. To keep in mind like a pound per filling recipe or ratio, because it never is the same. I tried that and I can get an idea on how much we'll do so I can have the right amount of ingredients, but that's about it. Because sometimes you end up with teeny tiny peppers like these, and then sometimes you end up with massive ones like this. So of course the massive one is going to hold a lot more filling, so you never know what you're going to get even per weight. Even the moisture in them can change what your weight is, etc. But you see, it looks like we've hardly done any peppers with our bowl, but it is what it is. So we're going to get these in the freezer and make some more filling because we do have more ingredients. Okay, so here we are about an hour later, and I have both of the trays out of my freezer, and you can see they're rock hard. So we're going to get these bagged up, and you can bag these up in smaller bags if you just want to make this for something quick that you can add to a meal or what have you, or if you have bigger functions then you can put more in the bag. I just have reusable bags, and we're gonna throw in, I don't know, 18 to 20 per bag, I say. Well, honestly, we might just fill up the bag because I can pull them out however many I want. So if we just want a couple each for dinner one night, we can just throw those out and heat those up. You see all my stuffing stays in there. Well, let's see, we're at least going to be able to fit 1 cookie sheet full in 1 bag. I like that, so I can kind of know it's 1 giant cookie sheet for a gallon bag. I have a kitty cat. This kitten, he's under my feet the past 2 days while I'm cooking. He likes feet, and he just wants to like sit on my feet while I cook and purr. And this is one of those 3 kittens that we found, and his name's Mick. Isn't he cute? But anyway, back to it. And I'm gonna get to work, and it's almost time for me to cook dinner, so I will get back to you when we're making more yummy snacks, and I will include what they look like coming out of the oven. Okay, so I got a little bit more than 1 extra large cookie sheet to go in the freezer, and we are out of our mix, and we only have this many peppers left, which I say is a win. These will get chopped up and thrown into my freezer to be used at a later date. And then if I ever have leftover of this, sometimes I just stick it in the fridge until the kids and it just disappears. You could heat it up and use it with tortilla chips or make a quesadilla out of it. There's all kinds of things you could do where it wouldn't go to waste either. But this ratio is absolutely perfect for me and a huge win. Alright, here they are, fresh out of the oven. Got golden brown on the top, so some crispy bits and some mushy bits. Then the peppers are fully cooked, and they are absolutely our family's favorite. So next up, we are going to take care of the more sweet tooth things that we want to have ready in our freezer, and we're going to start with banana muffins is the recipe, and we're going to add some nuts to make it banana nut. And if you saw, I found these on clearance for like 50 cents, was it, sister?
I don't know.
So we're going to use these. So she's going to go ahead and get started getting those in our muffin pan. And I am going to be doubling the recipe, so I will tell you the actual amount that you will need for one batch, which should make 12 muffins. And this is going to be 1/3 cup of butter, and it needs to be melted. So we're just going to get that going, about 10 seconds to start. And you want 2 separate bowls. I have one extra over here. Bless you. And we're going to need 1.5 cups of flour. And we're going to add that to our sifter. Do you like doing the sifter, sister?
No,
this bit? Why? So I'm going to make it go down a little bit so we can add some more ingredients. If you're doing one single batch, your sifter should hold it all. And then next up we're going to do baking soda and baking powder, and they're both 1 teaspoon each. And to sift it, you just get any lumps in there, so it's going to make it extra smooth and extra fluffy. There we are. And then we also need, I can't remember, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So we're just going to do 1 full teaspoon. Okay, and we're going to get all that sifted together. You know there's like nothing sharp in that, and it's just like this underneath. So we're just going to get all this sifted and we'll show you what's next. Okay, and I want you to not think about trying to do all these kind of things in the same day. Even I don't do that. If I have a full day where I can be in the kitchen, so be it, but I make my list of what I want to have ready in the freezer, and then I fit it in my life. That way I'm not dedicated to being in here all day if I can't. And then I don't stress about it. So you do the same. It's very productive. You get things done little by little, and you end up with a freezer full of stuff that's ready for you later. Anyway, butter is melted. I've got 3 bananas, and you want ripe bananas. And if you want them to ripe quicker, you leave them connected to each other, and you can have them in a bag, and then they will ripe a lot quicker. And you want them to be mashed, so I'm just going to use my whisk to mash them up a bit. And we're going to add our butter, which needs to be melted. And we're going to add 1 egg. Per recipe. 3/4 cup of sugar, and I'm also going to put my nuts in here now, and this is a 2/3 cup, so it's probably more like a 1 cup, but this is actually my sugar scooper that I just leave in there, so we're just going to use it because I don't want to stick flour all back in there. Okay, so we need 1.5 because we're doubling. Alright, you're just going to mix all that together until it's nice and smooth, aside from the nuts. If you don't like nuts, don't add them. This recipe doesn't normally call for them. And then we're just going to put about half the flour and incorporate that as well. Another good thing, if you can, do at least a couple of these recipes that use the same ingredients and the same dishes, and you're only washing those dishes in one time, pulling out all those ingredients one time. So it also saves that effort of having to wash up and pull things out so many times. Okay, so here is the consistency that we are looking for, and I do have my oven preheated to 350, and we're going to fill up our muffin tins about 3/4 of the way. Alright, got everybody loaded up. We're going to get these in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes, just until they're nice and springy on top. You can also stick a toothpick in it just to make sure the inside's done as well. And we're going to get started on our next project as well while they're cooking, so we can get them all done as quick as possible. Y'all, if y'all have teenagers or kids in the house, make sure you check your oven first. We had a pizza box in there and one of my big plastic trays. I don't know why. I understand the pizza, but I thought they ate that all. But I don't know why they stuck my plastic tray, which is very melted and deformed now, and I think maybe dripped some plastic in my oven. So yeah, that's where I'm at. But anyway, check your ovens. Okay, so next up is a family favorite. Everybody just tears these cookies up, so I figured why not throw them in the freezer as well. And that is oatmeal cookies. And we don't just do oatmeal cookies, we do oatmeal raisin walnut cookies. So you can also, you know, change up however you want, if you like pecans or almonds, things like that. And also I was thinking about those muffins. What would be good is, instead of banana nut, you could just interchange it for like raisins, cinnamon raisin. That would be really good. But anything like that. Okay, to start we have 2.5 sticks of softened butter. And I like to stick my butter right here by where my oven vents to get it to soften quicker. Okay, now we need brown sugar. We need 3/4 cup of firmly packed brown sugar. Now we're going to use our hand mixer and get this all creamed together. See, I forgot 1/2 cup of regular granulated sugar. No biggie, we'll just add it now and continue to cream. Alright, that is the consistency that we are looking for. And we'll move on to the next step, which is 1 egg. And this is one of our jumbo eggs. And then we want to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. This is our favorite. We like to get this in Mexico. 1 teaspoon and a little more because we really like this vanilla. Y'all, this smells so good. Alright, that part is done. We're going to mix together our dry ingredients. And we need 1 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. I don't know, what did I just say? 1 1/4? because it's 1.5 if I said 1 1/4. There's our 1. And then there's our 1/2. 1 teaspoon of baking soda. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground nutmeg. And 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You always want to add a little bit of salt to your baked goods because it really brings out all the flavors, even in your sweets. Okay, so we're just going to kind of stir this together and get it all combined as well. You know me, I don't like using extra dishes, so we'll just use the measuring stuff. And if you didn't notice, I didn't even rinse out that bowl from my last recipe because it didn't really have a whole lot of overpowering flavors in it that I'd be worried about taking over the flavors of this. So it saves me having to wash. Now we're just going to add our flour to our butter and sugar mixture a little at a time to get it incorporated. Well, hello. Hi, Cheddar Cat. And for this one, I do about 1/2. I'm just gonna scrape down my sides a bit because we want to make sure everything gets incorporated, but we don't want to overmix this and form the gluten in the flour. So just get it mixed in. We get to add in our lovely oatmeal. And you want 3 cups of quick oats, or the old-fashioned, I believe, works too. That's 1 cup. 2 and 3. And we're going to add our other ingredients. This is where their recipe ends, and you can add in what you like. I'm going to just use up the rest of this bag, which is just about enough. I usually use about 1 cup of some sort of nut, most of the time walnuts. And then raisins. I think the cat's getting mad at me that I'm not sitting down. My cat wants some loving, y'all. Oreo, don't do that. He tried to kick y'all to the ground. Don't do that, sir. And this is about... This is also about 1 cup. These were just in the freezer. When we use them for recipes, we don't really eat them a lot throughout. So I just throw every bit of it into the freezer and it keeps them fresh for whenever I have baking, or if somebody decides they're back into eating raisins. You know what I'm saying. That was my timer, and here is our lovely banana nut muffins. And they are completely done. See how it springs back real nice? Hopefully you can see just like that. So I'm going to set these aside so they can cool. You want them completely cool before you pack. Excuse you. Before you pack them in an airtight container and pop them in your freezer. And I'll most likely stick like 12 in a container. That way, you know, 12 is a good number for the get-togethers that we have. But anyway, back to the cookies. So all this to say, we're going to hand stir all of this in. You don't want to try to use your mixer or your stand mixer to mix these ingredients in, because it'll just get bashed. Plus it'll be really hard on your machines. Okay, so to finish these, I have absolutely never pre-made these to have them in the freezer. And in my research, I've seen that people, either way, you can do it before you bake them or after you bake them. But we're just going to make 2 spoons together size balls, and we're going to pre-freeze them before I bake them, because then whenever I need to make them, then they will actually be fresh baked cookies instead of cookies that I baked, then froze, and then reheated. I don't know if that would make a difference or not, but it's worth testing out. I'm sure they'd be delicious each way. And from frozen, they'll take a little bit longer, but you need your oven at 375 for that. Speaking of, I need to turn my oven off because it's getting hot in here. So I'm going to just get all these scooped out, and then I'm going to pop them in my freezer on this cookie sheet. Again, these cookie sheets are your friend. You pop everything out, you don't want them touching, and then you flash freeze them, and once they're solid, you can pop them in an airtight container or a reusable bag, whatever you have to keep these from getting freezer burned by the time you need to use them. Alright, here they are, and this recipe I believe is supposed to, that's better, supposed to make about 3 dozen cookies, and I believe I got 34 cookies. So if you like them bigger, make them bigger. There's plenty of dough, and y'all stay tuned. I have more. I have a couple more things I want to do with you guys. Let me know which of these recipes would be your favorite. Which have you tried? Which are you going to try? Y'all let me know, because I enjoy sharing these things with y'all, and I hope it helps. So let me know if it does. Or let me know if y'all have other things that y'all would like to see me make or try to make ahead, or whatever you're needing help with in the kitchen. Let me know. I'll be happy to help. Y'all, we're gonna pause for a few minutes and run sister to her friend's house because she has made her the cutest present ever. Let me show you. This girl has impressed me so much. Show me. Oh my goodness, y'all. That is a crocheted bouquet. Do a slow spin. And look, she even did the little details inside. You are absolutely amazing at that. Great job. Okay, so we are back from dropping off that lovely gift to her friend, who literally jumped up and down and screamed and was so excited to receive that. And I'm very impressed with her skills and what she can do and learn on her own. And our oatmeal raisin walnut cookies are nice and frozen, so I'm just going to get them into this container, and then we're going to start on the next project, which is going to be our family's favorite chocolate chip. But normally I put white chocolate and cranberries in it around the holidays, so it's the only time of year I ever make it for them. So I figured I would go ahead and just add regular chocolate chips and see how that turns out too, because everybody loves the consistency of these cookies and the chew, and I like them because they're super easy. And I have absolutely froze the dough for these, and I know they bake up beautifully from frozen. Or you can take them out if you're knowing something's gonna happen. You can take them out and let them defrost in the fridge, and then put them in the oven to bake as well. And I will leave links to all these recipes down below. Alright, to get started, I am going to double this recipe again. And we're going to be using the stand mixer. I don't know if a double batch is going to fit in here, but we're going to try. You need to have brown sugar again, because you know you can't have all these delicious cookies without all the sugar. And you will need half a cup of packed brown sugar added to your stand mixer, hand mixer, or if it's arm day, you can also hand mix this stuff. It shouldn't be too bad to mix by hand, honestly, if your butter is softened enough. And we'll also need a half a cup of white sugar. And then our mostly softened butter, 1 stick or half a cup. And we're going to cream all the butter and sugar together. That's pretty standard for especially cookie recipes, to cream your butter and sugar. And we'll get that going. Alright, now you're going to add 1 egg to your mixture, and I just absolutely love our yard eggs with all the pretty speckles. Don't mind the flour. Love, love, love all the pretty eggs that they do for us. Next up, it calls for brandy, but we were given this dry sherry a while back, and I have just been adding it in this cookie recipe, and it has been amazing. So this is my go-to. When I do run out of this, I will buy more just so I can make this. I've never ever done it with brandy, and you need 1 tablespoon. And now my hands are wet, so I can't open it. Honey!
Yeah?
I can't open it.
You guys said Goofy's open.
Yep, gotta keep you around to open my bottles. Okay. Now we have this open. And we need 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon per recipe. That's 1 and 2. Okay, now we're going to just mix all that up together. Okay, and normally while my butter and sugar is getting creamed together, I would do this step, but I didn't want this running while I was telling y'all the ingredients. So take advantage, if you have a stand mixer, to do this step while your butter and sugar is going together. So in a different bowl, you want 1.5 cups of just regular plain all-purpose flour. And then to this, we're also going to add half a teaspoon of baking soda. Alright, we'll just get that incorporated all together. And then we're going to do it in about 1/3 each addition. At least I am, because I have so much. You might be able to do just half at a time with less flour. The idea is to keep it from going poof and making a huge mess in your kitchen. Just get it incorporated. Don't continue to mix it. Well, get most of it in. Okay, last bit. And I am going to scrape my sides just to make sure that everything is incorporated. And as you see, it's a fairly sticky dough. Okay, we're going to remove our mixer paddle and just scrape all of that in there. And then this is the part where you get to be creative and add whatever you want. Like I said, I normally do the cranberry white chocolate chip, and they just tear those up. But today we're just going regular semi-sweet is what I chose. The original recipe calls for about 1 3/4 of the extra goodies that goes into it, and these bags hold right about 2 cups. So I think there's no harm in having extra chocolate and chocolate chip cookies. And if you're able to, you could even get like chocolate chunk cookie pieces. That would be cool. The chocolate chunk pieces. I've never even seen those at our stores. But you can get all kinds of creative. And then we're just going to hand mix and get all of this incorporated. If you don't like regular chocolate, I know they make Reese's and butterscotch and white chocolates, and I don't even know what else they make. Tell me what your favorite brand is. I just use the regular Great Value brand for these. I know the Ghirardelli ones are probably the best, at least that my store offers. Oh yeah, these are going to be loaded. Daddy, is there such thing as too much chocolate?
No. Is there such thing as too much Jamie cooking? No.
Uh-huh. You like when your wifey stands in here cooking?
My waistline doesn't.
Yeah. I know that's right. At least they'll be frozen.
Yeah. I'm gonna get them first.
Okay. That looks delicious to me, and I am going to use a cookie scoop to scoop these out. We'll just get them all scooped out, and then these are also going to go in the freezer for about an hour is where I usually go check them. But this is just a lovely fluffy easygoing dough. And if y'all couldn't see what I did, I took my thing and I just rammed it around in my all-purpose flour. That way it wouldn't be sticky on my scoop. And if you're cooking these, you definitely want them a lot more spread out than I'm doing. I'm just cramming as many as I can on the cookie sheet so we can get them frozen. And I might get one of each and get them baked up. And maybe sister will want to do a little taste test for us. And she can decide what's the best between the sweet things tonight. Just like that. Alright. We got that cookie sheet completely full, and this one mostly full. I say that is amazing. I know there's at least 3 dozen here, maybe 4, and that'll be perfect for whenever I need to just grab some cookie dough and get some cookies made so we can go out and hang out with our friends and family. And I do have one more that I would like to share with you, and it's going to be a savory. So stay tuned for that. Don't know if I'm going to do it tonight. Might do it in the morning and just go hang out with my family for the rest of the night. So see you then. Okay, our chocolate chip cookies are done, and we're going to get these all packaged up into another airtight container. And then we get to start our last project. And I don't know if I've told y'all, but we're going to be doing meatballs. And you can pretty much do any amount of meatballs that you want in advance. Do the same, freeze them, and then stick them in your freezer. And they are just perfect to have on hand, even for dinners. We've done it for dinners. Sister has made like a whole bunch of meatballs in advance, and we've like thrown enough for dinners. But I wanted to do it like little appetizer, ready to go. And you can dress them however you want. I know lots of people do the barbecue with the grape jelly, or you can just, you know, zhuzh them up however you want. Sweet and sour meatballs, however you want to do them. You see my little hack? Sweet's on the other side, savory's going to be on this side, so we just have to wash those once. Alright y'all, this recipe is the meatballs that Sister has been making, and it is just as easy as could be. So again, we're doubling, because why not? You're already in here getting everything messy, you might as well make a ton and have extra. And if you don't have time to like dedicate time to just make this stuff, if you're making cookies, make double. If you're making meatballs, make double, and then throw it in the freezer for later. And this is a bunch of pork rinds that have been ground up to be our breadcrumbs. So this is going to be a very low carb meatball. Instead of having plain breadcrumbs, and you'd need half a cup. And I have 4 pounds of ground beef in here. The recipe says 1 pound of bulk Italian sausage and 1 pound of ground beef. We usually use ground beef. You could also substitute lamb in with ground beef, and I think I'm gonna have to do that. Me and my husband were talking, and he absolutely loves doner kebabs, and that would be like little shawarma meatballs, or doners, or gyros, those kind of things in meatball form. And I think we're gonna have to do that, and then pull it out for the week, and then we can just make some tzatziki sauce to go with it, or whatever he wants to put on his. But that sounds amazing to have make ahead, so maybe I'll bring you along for that, maybe not, but we're gonna try to come up with that kind of meatball recipe. So make sure you hit subscribe if you want to see more. We're always coming up with something new around here. Okay, you need half a cup of grated Parmesan. I have grated topping, so we're gonna use about that much. And I have no idea what kind she used before. I feel like she used the more granular one. You could use fresh shredded Parmesan, you could use the good stuff, you could use the pre-shredded, whatever you want to. Alright, now we need half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and this I'm using is garlic salt, because it is getting old, and I think we're going to use a little bit more because we like a lot of garlic, and this needs to be used up anyway. And then we need onion powder, half a teaspoon as well. And we're just going to do more like a tablespoon for our seasoning flavor preferences. And it calls for 1/4 teaspoon salt, but we already have salt in there with our garlic. And then a half a teaspoon of pepper. And you see, that's not, no, a 1/4 teaspoon, so I need half a teaspoon. That's probably a teaspoon. Don't be scared to adjust these how you think it should be. If you've never made it before, you're welcome to try the recipe just as it is. But I find that we need a little bit more seasoning with things. We really like a nice season or heavily seasoned food. Now, you need half a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. I don't have Italian seasoning, but I have oregano and parsley. So we'll do about half and half of these, and we'll call that our Italian seasoning. And now, per each recipe, you need 2 eggs. So we're just gonna add our lovely yard eggs. And I usually break these in a separate bowl, but having a teenager be the one who tends to the chickens, they're her chickens, y'all. She does everything with them. We bring our eggs in, clean them up if needed, and then we put them in the fridge so they sit in the fridge. If it's been sitting in the fridge a while, I float them. If you don't know about floating eggs, just Google how to float eggs to see if they're good. Okay, next up, you're supposed to add 1/4 cup of whole milk. We're doing unsweetened almond milk. Make sure it's unsweetened, or that would be some Funkalicious meatballs. And we need half a cup. And then we're gonna get in there with our hands. Make sure you take your jewelry off and have really clean hands. And I'm gonna move that here. And we're just gonna go in and get all of this nice and incorporated, mixed in until you can't tell what's in there. Alright, we're just about getting there. Make sure you go all the way to the bottom and flip it up. See, there's a little bit more. We're just gonna keep squishing. It's like the adult version of Play-Doh. If you don't like sticking your hands in raw meat, invest in some gloves. Just like that. You can't see there's eggs. You can't see there's the breadcrumbs, everything except for there. Check it and then check it again, because you don't want any big bites of anything. You want it all mixed together. Okay, handy dandy scoop. This is like a 1.5 inch across, maybe, well, I don't know, maybe 2 inch. We're just gonna scoop these all out. Okay, here we are with all of them scooped out, and I still have this much left. So know if you do this one thing, it should fill up 2 of these larger cookie sheets, and then you just take them, make them into balls. And once they're all into balls, put them out in your freezer and let them sit in there for a good hour. And then same thing, airtight container. And you can take these out in advance and thaw them if you want. Or you could throw them in a crock pot and do the barbecue grape jelly style, or sweet and sour meatballs in a crock pot. I haven't done any of that in an Instapot yet. If y'all have done like that style of meatball in an Instapot, let me know how that works, because that would go right along with our quick, fast, in a hurry, needing some yummy, delicious things to bring with this idea today. Or you can throw them in the oven straight from frozen and they do just fine as well. I think I do these 350, 375 and just keep an eye on them. Probably take 20-30 minutes. I don't really pay attention to the times whenever I cook things like this. I just turn the oven on and throw it in. So if you need accurate instructions for this, check the recipe or leave a comment down below and I will look it up for you guys, because I just don't know right now. Where there is a will, there's a way. I think we might actually get all 4 pounds of meatballs on these 2 cookie sheets. And we were talking, and I think I'm gonna do both kids, my adult kid and my kid, one of each of the dessert things, and we're gonna try baking it in the COSORI that I have. I've never used it to bake, but instead of turning on my whole oven to cook a couple of cookies, I figured we'd give that a try and see how it works. You think it'll work, sister?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll bring y'all back for a taste test.
Get the rest of this with this one.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Great help. The oatmeal. And then chocolate chip. So they're out of the COSORI and it looks like it's done a really good job, although I don't even know what temperature it cooked them at, and it had a preset time. I just let it run to see what would happen. These might be a little gooey inside, I don't know, but both of them I believe have a different time and a different temperature. But look, that looks perfect. We'll put it back together and we'll let the kids try them. Yeah.
These two are the same.
Those are the chocolate chip, then oatmeal, and then the muffin.
I like the texture, very squishy.
Yeah, it's still warm.
Mm-hmm.
Good? Okay, try the
I think I
next
prefer
one.
it like that, actually.
That one might be a little moist inside, I don't know.
Crumbly, but... That one I prefer. Way better.
Yeah, that's the oatmeal raisin walnut. That's your go-to.
Mm-hmm.
And then y'all pick a muffin. Now, I've never used this recipe. We've done banana nut muffins, but I don't know that it was the exact same one. You've been waiting for those, haven't you, sister?
That's good.
Yeah?
I like it, but it just doesn't taste like it.
Can you rank them for me?
Top tier, kind of like this a bit more than the chocolate. So I like
The oatmeal
the
raisin.
raisin a lot more.
Then
And this one,
the
this one's a
banana nut.
good. I just don't taste anything. And this
You don't
one-
take. To be fair, he can't smell, so his
Well, no,
opinions
to be
are
fair,
very.
I don't really like chocolate all that much.
Oh,
It just
that
tastes
works.
like a banana nut muffin and chocolate chip cookie.
So nothing outrageous. So what's
Yeah.
your order, sister?
This way, I like the chocolate chip the most, then this raisin one, and then this one. This one, it should have been heated up, but like it's still good.
It's still good, even though it's room temperature. You think you like the cookies more because they're nice and warm right out of the
Yeah.
oven.
I like the
I like the
consistency of
texture,
it, how it's
yeah.
like
Of what?
squishy.
Of both
Of both the
them.
cookies.
Yeah,
I can't
So-
stand hard cookies. They're just not.
those both were cooked in that COSORI thing, so I guess it did pretty good. That's good to know. So if we need to cook up a quick round of cookies, COSORI for the win. So none of them are nasty.
No.
Thank y'all for y'all's opinions. Okay, so what's your ranking, honey?
The chocolate one first. The other cookie, whatever that was.
Oatmeal raisin walnut.
Yeah, that one.
The regular go-to.
Yeah.
And then the muffin.
Yeah.
Do you think it just needs to be heated up, or do you think there might
Well,
be
to be
another
honest, they're
factor?
all really good. I mean, it's not. It's not.
It's like apples and oranges.
Yeah.
I cannot believe you like how the chocolate chip cookie was, because it's a little soft. but it was
No, it's
crispy
fine.
on the outside.
Yeah.
He usually likes the snap of a cookie
The
instead
only
of
like
a
taste a little tiny bit of nutmeg or cinnamon or something.
There's definitely nutmeg in there, but I
Yeah.
believe there's cinnamon in the banana nut.
Could taste it in there, could taste it in the other one though.
He hates cinnamon.
Yeah.
But
I will eat it though when I'm getting older.
There, just nutmeg in the other one. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even remember. We've done so many things this weekend. Mine, which as always is the oatmeal raisin, but that chocolate chip cookie recipe, y'all, don't sleep on it. That recipe is so good.
That is very good. Very
Really
crunchy on
good.
the outside.
Do you know why you like it so much? That's my cranberry white chocolate cookie recipe that I just didn't put those in. I put
The ones you starve us from?
the ones that he freaks out if I don't cook them every year. But anyway, thanks so much for joining my family and myself for a little adventure to get our freezer stocked up and ready for impromptu whatever type of events or snackish days, whatever. If you got party, game night, card night, poker night, sleepovers, that kind of thing, you'll have a freezer full of whatever they would want. Y'all, we're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, so please hit subscribe and share this video or any of your other favorite videos with anybody that you know would be interested in this type of content. Y'all are making this channel grow fast, and I can't thank you enough. And until the next time, love you, bye-bye.
Love you, bye-bye.